Well, it was a big week in Michigan sports, and it was a huge week for Michigan State's main three athletic programs on the men's side. We're going to dive right into it here on the Michigan Sports Report. Hello, I'm the Dependent Fanatic, the founder of the Dependent Fanatic channel. Stay tuned every week for this report. All right, we're going to start with the best conference in college hockey, the Big Ten. It has finished. The regular season is now done, and what a wild ride it was to end the season on Saturday. Michigan, number 11, finished 18, 13, and 3, and will enter the Big Ten tournament as a 4 seed after an overtime loss and a 4-3 win versus number 8 Ohio State, which means Michigan will have home ice in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. On Thursday, Michigan and Ohio State were tied 1-1 until Ohio State scored the first goal of overtime to win. Shots were even in that game, 27-25. It was on Big Ten Plus, which means I could not watch it. I do not have it yet. I hope to get some of these channels in the future, maybe for the next season, the start of football season. Maybe someday, at least, I'll be able to afford those channels. All right, on Friday, Michigan had the best passes and the best puck handling I've seen from them all season. And it paid off as Michigan had a 4-1 lead after 2 periods. Michigan was winning faceoffs and intercepting passes regularly versus the Buckeyes and led in shots on goal 24-14. But in the third period, Ohio State got pissy and just started taking out Michigan players on their senior night, down 4-1. Michigan got a 4-minute power play for a double penalty on one player, and Michigan seemed more interested in eating time rather than trying to score, and Ohio State killed that power play. With 7:27 left, Ohio State scored on a power play goal of their own, and it was a 2-goal game. With 3 minutes left, Ohio State had a puck ricochet off both posts behind Michigan's goalie and went out. It never went in. Which was good because it would have been the game tying goal if it did go in. Because right after review, Ohio State had too many men on the ice, which gave Michigan a power play. But Michigan then committed a penalty, and Ohio State got a 4-on-4 goal to eventually make it 4-3. Could have been 4-4 if that one went in. Michigan needed 3 points and a win in regulation to stay ahead of Penn State for the 4 seed in this game. Could they do it? Ohio State pulled the goalie, and it was 6-on-4 for the final minute. And yes, Michigan kept the puck out of the net. They won a face-off with 2 seconds left to win the game 4-3. If Penn State were to sweep Minnesota, they would have gotten the 4 seed in the Big Ten later in the day. And MSU would have clinched the first round bye and home ice if they swept Notre Dame. So, what would number 3 Michigan State do? They are 24-6-4 now. They lost their top spot in the Big Ten to Minnesota last week, and we're in must-sweep mode of Notre Dame on Peacock. Another one of those streams that I do not subscribe to yet. Turns out I have to have all the streaming services, so that's something that I'll look towards in the future. But I mean, these games should be happening. It's local. It should be on local television. But nonetheless, I digress. Minnesota lost to Penn State in overtime, which gave Minnesota lost Penn State in overtime the first game, which gave Penn State and Michigan State a chance to screw over Michigan. It gave Michigan State a chance to win the Big Ten because Michigan State beat Notre Dame 5-2 to do their part on Friday. So it came down to Saturday for the Big Ten regular season championship between Michigan State and Minnesota. It also came down to Michigan and Penn State for the 4th seed in the Big Ten tournament. On Saturday, Michigan State swept. They won versus Notre Dame 5-2 once again to earn 6 points in the sweep of Notre Dame on the road. So they at least clinched a share of the Big Ten title. So it was up to Minnesota to win 3 points to share the regular season with Michigan State and force Penn State to go to Yost and play Michigan in the first round of the tournament. And Minnesota did win the second game versus Penn State to share the Big Ten with Michigan State. Michigan will host Penn State. After a tiebreaker, Michigan State got the first round bye in the Big Ten tournament. Michigan State won their second Big Ten title in a row under Adam Nightingale, the head coach. All right, we're moving on to, let's see, college basketball. There's no doubt about it. Michigan basketball has won close games. 10 of the last 12 have been within 4 points. Sunday night was not so close. We will get to that in a second. Michigan won 8 of those games, by the way. They won their 6-0 and one-score games in the last 11. It reminds me of that Molly Hatchet song, Flirting with Disaster. And that is what Michigan has been doing these last few weeks. All right, we're talking the second best conference in college basketball, the Big Ten, specifically these Michigan schools. Number 15, Michigan, had 3 games this week and went 2-1 in those games. They have a 22-7 record right now. It all started with Nebraska at Nebraska. Michigan won 49-46 in an offensive horror. In the very next game, Michigan won versus Rutgers in a defensive horror on Thursday night with a buzzer beater from Namari Burnett, a deep 3, to give Michigan an 84-82 win to stay on par with Michigan State at the time, who had their own buzzer beater versus Maryland the night before, but we'll get to Michigan State here in a second. What is nuts about the Rutgers game is Michigan scored 84 points while going 5 of 21 from 3. They missed 11 free throws. They had it stolen 11 times, part of 15 turnovers. If Michigan cannot foul and they can shoot and have freedom of movement offensively, they can overcome those turnovers in games. It happened versus Rutgers, barely. On Sunday, Michigan played Illinois on a quest to win 9 of their last 10 games. The lone loss was to Michigan State at home. Michigan was trying to snap an 8-game losing streak versus Illinois. Well, it ended abruptly early. Early turnovers. Michigan was trying to snap that 8-game win streak, but Illinois, there's a reason there is that 8-game win streak, because they know how to beat Michigan. Just get the glass, don't turn it over, speed them up and on defense, and man, Illinois looked like one of the best teams in the nation tonight. So Michigan had 9 turnovers, and Illinois had 10 offensive rebounds in the first half. Hard to come back from that, but Michigan was only down by 1 at halftime. After all that, 9 turnovers and 11 offensive rebounds. Well, Illinois then hit 11 threes and had 9 more offensive rebounds in the second half to smack Michigan in the mouth and win this game 93-73. 20-point victory on the road for the Illini. It was only Michigan's second home loss all season, the aforementioned Michigan State. Michigan's guard play has to get a ton better if they expect to win down the stretch, and they have to be able to rebound as well with the 7-footers and 6'10" guys that we have on the team. But the guards, man, they finally pulled Roddy Gale out and gave Scottie Pippen a run late, and LJ Kayson, and they did pretty good, better than anything Roddy Gale offered the team in the last few games. So he is just a turnover machine. He misses easy shots. He takes dumb shots. He can't hit a three. I think he's made 1 3 all season. I don't know why he's in there. I really don't. But Michigan State, on the other hand, number 8 Michigan State, who is now 24-5, played at number 16 Maryland on Wednesday. It was a half-court buzzer beater by Trey Holloman to keep Michigan State in the top spot of the conference from half court, past half court. And it was right down. Like the commentator for the Michigan game said, you couldn't get a ladder and drop it through any prettier than he shot that ball. And then on Sunday, Michigan State played number 11 Wisconsin and pulled away late in that game to win 71-62. So they have the rebounding on par. They have the fast break points, everything that is a hindrance to the Michigan program. They do, and Illinois did. And I don't see Michigan changing anything. So entering next week, the Big Ten standings are Michigan State 15-3 and Michigan 14-4. Michigan has number 16 Maryland, and Michigan State has at Iowa next week. And then they play each other on Sunday at noon on CBS. The last game of the regular season could possibly determine the Big Ten regular season champions. And there could be a split still if Michigan goes on the road to Breslin and beats Michigan State. All right. This sports report continues with college baseball. In baseball, the Big Ten has never really sniffed the best conference status. All the non-conference games take place in warm weather in the south or out west. If you want to travel when it's cold, commit to Michigan or Michigan State baseball. Michigan has 2 NCAA baseball titles. I think Michigan State has one. But Michigan is now 6-4. They had a 3-game series at Long Beach State, who was 4-4, losing to Northwestern twice and to Utah by 8 points. On Friday, they beat Michigan 6-3. On Saturday, Michigan won 10-6, and then on Sunday, I had to wait to do this video because this was the last game that I had to cover, and it just ended. Michigan was up 7-2 in the bottom of the 9th. Long Beach State scored 3 runs and then loaded the bases. A run was walked in, so it was 7-6 with 1 out, and the bases are loaded. But Michigan got the 2 outs that were necessary right after that to get the win, 7-6 for the 2-1 series win. Wow, that was an exciting. I was stat watching that one because I don't have, again, another channel I don't have, but I was like, uh-oh. And then they got the 2 strikeouts. Actually, they were flyouts. Next up for Michigan baseball, they are at UCLA on Tuesday. They are at UC Riverside on Wednesday. And then they have a home series versus Illinois, Big Ten team, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in this upcoming week. Michigan State, on the other hand, is 9-1 and are on a tear. They played Harvard and run-ruled them all 3 games. They won 14-1 and 11-1 on Saturday, I believe, both in 7 innings. And then they won on Sunday to beat Harvard again, 13-3 in 7 innings. Next up for them, they have Western Carolina on Wednesday. Then they have the First Pitch Invitational, where they play Cornell on Friday, as well as UAB. And then on Saturday, they have Winthrop. And then on Sunday, it's UAB again for them. All right, to the professionals. And in the NHL, the Red Wings are 30, 24, and 6. Fourth place in the Atlantic Division now. Eighth place in the Eastern Conference. On Tuesday, Detroit beat the Wild 3-2. But on Thursday, they lost at Columbus. And then on Saturday, they played Columbus in Ohio Stadium and lost again 5-3. 5-2 in the first game, 5-3 in the Horseshoe. That sucks. As a Michigan fan, a Michigan State fan, you don't want to see that. But the record, the place, the standing, it's all good still for the Red Wings. In NBA news, we have the Pistons are 34-27 now. Sixth place in the Eastern Conference. Only one game back from fourth place. With 21 games to go down the stretch of the NBA regular season. On Monday, Detroit beat the Clippers 106-97. Cade Cunningham had his usual 32 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, or 9 assists, 7 rebounds. On Wednesday, Detroit beat the 42-16 Celtics, 117-97. And then Detroit's 8-game winning streak came to an end at Denver, where they lost 134-119. But on Saturday, the Pistons were firing on all cylinders in a win versus the Nets, 115-94. So 4 games there. They went 3-1 this week. There you go. That's the Michigan Sports Report. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up. Share with other people. Subscribe if you have not. And thank you to everybody who has. So there you go. Till next time. Have a great day.